So, ever since the last Samurai Jack episode aired, a lot of people have been wondering whether the ending was really the right choice or not. Many people just weren't really satisfied with the last episode in general. They thought it was just way too rushed. They thought that there were just quite a few problems with it. They wanted just more interactions between Jack and Aku. They wanted more time between Jack and the Scotsman. And that's just the ending where Ashi fades away. A lot of people just thought it was unfair and just didn't make sense, because if Jack went and killed Aku in the past, shouldn't she have disappeared immediately? But then people are saying that doesn't make sense, because maybe there should be a split timeline, or just, we don't really know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So a lot of people have not really cared for the final episode. I heard a lot of people just saying that the first about 3 episodes or so were great, and then it just started to go down there from there. And none of the episodes were really that bad from those people, but except maybe episode 8, but they just didn't really care for the final that much. And I'm kind of on that boat too. I did, for the most part, enjoy the final. I thought it was a lot of fun, but it did definitely have its problems. I think that the fight between Aku and Jack should have been a little bit longer, because, I mean, these two are mortal enemies. They're always trying to kill each other, always cracking jokes at each other, and in this, I don't think they even got a line between each other, from what I remember, except for maybe one line. That was just a huge disappointment. All Jack did was run away and then go into the past after Ashi took him. So, they really should have had just a bigger fight between them. I think that would have been a lot better. Then there was also, of course, the Scotsman and Jack. We only got like, what was it, a 1 or 2 minute conversation between them? Not that much. All the Scotsman really did was just go and say that, oh, I'm okay even though I'm dead, and then he introduces his daughters. Now, it was a funny moment, and it was something you would definitely expect from the Scotsman, especially when he got mad that Jack didn't want to go and get together with one of his daughters, but that's all we got between them. We didn't get some big reunion after the big fight, because Jack didn't stay there or anything like that. Jack didn't even smile when he was with the Scotsman, even though they were best friends. So, there could have been a bigger, and also the Scotsman didn't even say anything about Jack being young or anything like that, or question, where's your beard, if he ever saw it. Because I'm guessing that they might have seen each other between the 50 years, maybe at least once, but they didn't question that. And so it had to be at least some time, because Jack, of course, didn't know that he was dead or anything like that, and he didn't even know that he had daughters. So I guess it's true that maybe he just never introduced them, but he still didn't seem to know that he had all. Lose my words again. He had all of them. So we could have gotten just a much bigger talk between them, and we didn't. So the biggest one for the people is just the final few minutes. So Ashi finds out that she has Jack's power, or Aku's powers. So she looks like she's possibly going to be able to go and fight with Jack and defeat Aku in the future. But instead, she goes and creates a time portal and takes him to the past. So after this, we get to go to the very first episode, and where right after it goes and sends Jack into the future. So Jack and Ashi come through, and they go and defeat Aku, and it seems everything's going to be alright. But right after that, Ashi falls down, and she's like, oh, and we're like, oh crap! But then she says, I'm okay, I felt him leave me. So we think we're alright there. We're pretty much just like, okay, so maybe she will live. Because Aku is he's not a human, so maybe going and killing him won't go and take her away. So there is that. But Then we get the big wedding between them. It looks like it's going to have this happy ending, and then she falls over and disappears because she can't exist without Aku. So this has just been... It hasn't gone over well with a lot of people. Even people who I think don't care for Jack and Ashi that much. Just, it didn't really make sense to them. So, like I said, if Jack went and killed Aku in the future, a lot of people are saying that she should have disappeared immediately. Because that's kind of how it works. It happened in Back to the Future, where his parents were starting to get together, the kids disappeared, and when it looks like it was going to be final, that Marty's hand was disappearing, so why didn't it go like this in here? So, you could possibly make the argument that maybe it was taking a while for time to go and, I guess, rewrite itself. I mean, because for Back to the Future, it was only 30 years. For this, we don't know really how far into the future Jack was. It could have been hundreds of years, it could have been thousands of years, we don't really know. So, it could take some time for it to go for the history to rewrite itself, but we don't really know how much time that Jack and Ashi spent in the past. I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't get married on the same day they killed Aku. I mean, that just seems very unlikely. Just so, it probably had to be a few weeks at the least. That's what I'm thinking. I still don't think that a few days would be enough time. It probably had to be a few weeks. So, then there was also Jack's parents looking young again. They look like they haven't aged a day. In the first episode, Jack's dad, he had a gray beard. He looked all small. He looked like he hadn't eaten in days. And then Jack's mother was also all gray. Now, I'm pretty sure that they would get healthy again eventually, and there was hair dye back then, but still, they look a lot younger, and that wasn't explained. My best guess is that maybe it just was a character, just they went and messed up on the character design, so they weren't really just 100% good with it continually, so they were bound to mess up on a few things, and they just, I guess, went and messed up on that, but they could have at least gave them a few gray hairs or something. So, a lot of people are also saying that there should have been probably maybe 2 universes or so, or 2 timelines, because Jack, in the end, still got sent to the future. But did he get sent to the future where he goes into the future that we all know? Or did he go into a different timeline where he was in a good future? If he went into the bad future, that means the series still happens. That the bad future still exists. Therefore, Ashi should still exist. But then we don't know what really happens to Aku in the future. Does he disappear? Do the other people defeat him? Or somehow, even though they don't have the sword? That was left unexplained, and it was also left unexplained if they even exist or not. Is the Scotsman still around? Are the Woolies still around? Are the Archers still around? None of that we really know. They could be gone. I suppose the Guardian can still be around, maybe, because he was supposedly there for eons, but even then we still don't know about that. But if that future still exists, Ashi still be around. Something I should probably bring up is the Dragon Ball Z. During the Trunks timeline, there were 2 timelines around that. There was the normal timeline, the one that everyone knows where it goes to Cell and then Majin Buu. Then there was the Trunks timeline where all the characters, or all the Z fighters, die except for Trunks. Now you think that after Trunks goes back in time, heals Goku, and they defeat the androids, his timeline would disappear, but it doesn't. It stays. Now, eventually he does go back and kill the androids in his time, and it looks like it's all going to be good, and eventually he just go to Dragon Ball Super, and that should be explained. That was stupid. It makes the whole Trunks timeline and Trunks saga just completely irrelevant. But in the end, Trunks timeline stayed, even though you think it would have gone, but it never did. So, would it be the same here? Would Ashi's timeline just stay, and she'd be able to stay in the future with Jack? So then there's also, if Jack went into a good future, what would happen? You think that if it was a good future, all the time portals would still be there, so he would be able just to go back into the past, just like that, and then there would be two Jacks running around in the same time. So I guess it's possible that maybe there aren't any time portals in the good future, but then that means that Jack is stuck in the future forever. I mean, still, it's a good future, but he's stuck there. He can never get back. And for what he knows, just like the regular Jack, his family is being tortured by Aku, and he's going to eventually become depressed, and he'll never get out of it because there will be no Ashi. There may not be a Scotsman. So if they're not there, they can't help him, and he'll be depressed forever, and he may commit suicide. So, timeline or time travel it could be very confusing. You need to be very careful when you're writing it. Because there's the grandfather paradox. If you were to go back in time and kill your dad or your mom when they were kids or something, you wouldn't be born. But if you weren't born, you could have never gone back in time to kill them. And if you never went back in time to kill them, then they exist in the future and they had you. And if they had you and you went back in time and killed them, it starts all over again. So I just don't really think you can change the past really at all, because, or at least the past and the events that follow that we know. For example, if you were to go back in time and try to stop the Titanic from sinking, well, you failed because the Titanic sunk. We all know that. But if you were able to go back in time and cause some event that did happen and that we all talked about, then you did succeed, and you were always supposed to be there to go in and have it. Then if you went back in time to try to prevent what you did, you won't be able to do it because you were always supposed to be there to go and create that event. So, it's just, time travel, I like just reading and watching that kind of stuff, but it can be very confusing at times, and you need to be very careful when you're writing it. It doesn't make a lot of sense in the end at times, so you need to be careful. But in the end, did Ginny and his team, did they make the wrong decision by having Ashi disappear? Should they have had the happy ending where she stays and it becomes all happy? Because that's the ending I wanted. Even though I probably knew it wasn't going to happen, it's the ending I wanted. In fact, one YouTuber, I think his name is the Mix06, he created an alternate ending. It's a really good alternate ending where it takes place right after Jack is at the place where he's under the tree, and the gods go and appear from when the ladybug appears, and you're like, your sacrifices have been noble, so because of this, we're going to revive your girlfriend. Those aren't the exact words, but that's what it pretty much is. So after that, Ashi appears, and she's like, Jack? And she's naked, but you can't see that, but she's naked, and she's just wondering why Jack's all sad, and he goes and hugs her. And she's questioning why he's all sad, but then she looks out to the horizon, and she's like, where are we? And Jack's like, this is our new home. And Ashley's like, home? And then she goes and smiles, and we get this really good picture with her hugging and looking out to the horizon, the same horizon that Jack looked at the very end. And in the very end of the original episode, that is still a beautiful shot. I love it. But I just still like the other ending a lot more too, because it's just, Jack deserved what he really deserved happiness. For 50 years, he was depressed. He blamed himself for what happened in the past. He blamed himself for what happened in the future. He blamed all the deaths, all the suffering, everything on himself. So he just couldn't have just gotten this one thing. I mean, yes, he did go to the past. That's what he always wanted, but it was this true love that he should have gotten. It just, I mean, I suppose that an alternate an alternate ending might happen on a DVD. Maybe. We really shouldn't hold our breath for that, but it might happen. What I would like in a season 5 DVD, I would like an alternate ending. I would like deleted scenes. I would like commentary on all the episodes. I would like interviews with the cast and crew, behind the scenes, and then pretty much how season 5 got started and all that, and pretty much all the information about the canceled movie. And then maybe the first 3 episodes, just so we can see the very beginning of the tale and then the very ending of the tale. And then I've also seen some people say they would like to see an art book released with the DVD. That would also be really cool. I would love that. If they put all that into the season 5 DVD, I would be just extremely happy, and I would be okay if we never got anything from Samurai Jack again. Just, that would be the perfect DVD for me. But a lot of people they weren't satisfied with the ending and season 5 in general, or not season 5, the last episode, and it started out on a great note, and for a lot of people it just started to go downhill from there. But it still was a great season. I did enjoy it, but I kind of wish the ending could have been good. But this is the ending that Gindi, I guess, always wanted, but was it the wrong ending? Should he have created the happy ending? In the end, was he not in the right to go and create this ending? It's just, I guess it's just left up to the fans to decide. I mean, they might like it, they might like it. I'm not really sure if Gindi went and read the reviews or anything like that. So maybe he feels guilt of doing so, maybe not. And I'm pretty sure they did have different endings planned, because I think even as far back as January, the ending still wasn't complete. So they only had a few more months to complete it, and they finally got it done. But so maybe they were just kind of divided whether Ashi should live, whether she should not, whether Jack should stay in the future or not. I was thinking that Jack would stay in the future. Maybe he would. Because I was thinking that maybe he would defeat Aku in the future, but Ashi would die somehow. Then either the Guardians or the gods would appear, and they would let him go into the past. So then he gets a vision by all of his ancestors, including his mom and dad, and they're saying, "It's okay. You can go and save her. We had our time. One day we will be reunited in the afterlife, but for now, go be with your girlfriend. You deserve it." So after that, he goes into the past, saves Ashi, and lives in the future, and he eventually becomes king, she becomes queen, and they all live happily ever after. That's the way I saw it ending, but that definitely wasn't it. And maybe the Guardians still exist in the past, so maybe one day they'll run into each other, and then he'll be like, "Hey Jack, you want to go into the future and save Ashi?" And maybe he'll say there are different timelines that exist, and he can go and save her. That's possible, but we'll probably won't get that either. So, season 5, a lot of people said they did like it, but they just didn't care for the ending that much, and I am pretty much on the same boat. And even though I would like an alternate ending, it's probably pretty slim that we're going to get it, but I still just very hope that one day it would happen. But I'm not really sure if this was it the wrong ending or was it not. What do you think? In the end, I'm in the middle of it, I guess. I mean, I respect Gindi, but I just wanted a happy ending, and hopefully one day we'll get it, but I guess we shouldn't just hold our hopes too high for it.